Hello and welcome to another episode of Hooks and Dice. I'm Lila Croca, and I'm sorry there wasn't an episode last week, but I suffered a severe injury that I'm still recovering from, and so I was in bed most of the week and the weekend. But I'm back and feeling mostly okay, and I want to show you what I made while I was down and out. A weeping angel. She's got wings that you can pose. You move them back, move them in forward. She's got a pleated skirt. Look at that teeth. Look at those teeth. Grr. Don't blink. So she's available as my Hello Kitty. The Cthulhu Kitty was available on Etsy. I say was because the Cthulhu Kitty has been purchased. Yay! So, and of course you can get the pattern for the Weeping Angel on Patreon. It is an advanced pattern as opposed to intermediate or beginners like the usual patterns that I write because of the pleated skirt. It's back post stitches and it's double crochet along with the single crochet. Usually the amigurumi is single crochet, but I wanted to make the skirt pleated. I have to do everything the hard way. So and the wings are a little bit complicated. So, let me show you the wings because I'm really proud of them. Look at the feathers. The detail on these are great. This one shows a little bit better in the lighting. You can see the individual feathers on one of the wings. I had to make each feather individually and sew it in. So that's why it's an advanced pattern, even though it's a very simple looking Weeping Angel. Gotta keep an eye on that thing. It's very cute. In the Friday campaign, my people have made an agreement with a bad guy for some scrolls to take to a different person who owns a library full of scrolls and books that if you trade him book for book, scroll for scroll, you can have anything in his library. So they're going to load up on scrolls and try to, get the best scrolls they can out of the deal. Whether they keep the ones they get from Tove or the ones that they get from Vizerta. So I had to figure out a way to... And I was going to do 100 scrolls originally, 100 kinds of scrolls rather, but I whittled it down to 80 because it was just, what a task. Plus I wanted them to be able to get some of the cool stuff from Vizerta and not just everything cool from Tove. It would be kind of pointless to go to Vizerta if Tove had all the cool spells. So went to 80, and my fiance suggested that I have a fixed number along with the number they roll for how many scrolls each player can carry. And so I'm going to say 40 scrolls and then roll a d40. So then that will determine how many scrolls each character can carry, and then from there they'll dig into the big chest of scrolls and see what they can find. It's gonna be an interesting... There's a little bit of trickery going on. And I can't say too much because we haven't played it yet. We're playing tomorrow, or no, today. Today's Saturday. We haven't played yet, so I can't say too much about it. But I can say there's a little bit of trickery going on, so they've got to be on their toes. And hopefully my fiance won't watch this episode until after we play. Anyway, I was going to do some Viking knit jewelry yesterday. I bought some 24 gauge, or no, it was 20 gauge copper wire and then 0.3 millimeter silver beading wire. The copper wire ended up being too big, not too big, but too stiff. It wasn't soft enough. And the beading wire was just too thin. It was too thin to work with. So I'm going to have to break down and buy some from Fire Mountain Gems because they have great dead soft silver. It's expensive for the quantity that you get, but it is real silver, so And then I can also get the zebra wire, so that you get more for your money, even though it's not pure silver. I don't think it's silver at all. I think it's just silver tone. But it'll look nice with the kroners that I'm using for charms. And I want to mix the copper and the silver together, have two separate pieces that it's called Viking knit. It's more like weaving. And I will show you a video, link to a video here on YouTube that you can see what I'm talking about. But I want to knit two individual bracelets and then kind of make them into a rope and then put the charm on. I think it'll look really nice. So when I get the wire, I'll be doing that, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. We have a player on Monday's games that wants to return. He was with us for a while and then just disappeared without a word. And we had to vote as a group as to whether or not to let him back. He says he's got time now. Well, I'm kind of the mindset that, well, what happens when he runs out of time again? Is he just going to split again? But I don't want to be mean. He's a good player. We need the tank. So we all agreed to let him come back, and hopefully we won't regret that decision. So, as I said, the Hello Kitty, Cthulhu Kitty was sold. I'm thinking about making other Hello Kitties in different costumes when I have the time, just, you know, in between projects, because it crochets up so quick. And it'll be a way to write more patterns for Patreon, and people who are collecting the Hello Kitties that I make can pick up the Hello Kitties in different costumes. The lady that purchased the Cthulhu Kitty, I had made her, she's from Norway, she's my fiance's mother. I had made a Christmas ornament for her of Hello Kitty with blonde curly hair and wearing a bunad, which is a traditional national costume for Norway. And I made it from, I don't remember if they're districts or how they, maybe county, I'm not sure, but it's from somewhere she's lived. And so it was really special, and I think that might be why she picked up the Cthulhu Kitty, is she wants to have a couple of different ones, and they're definitely conversation pieces, so I really appreciate the purchase. Thank you, Anmai. And my fiance and I are going to do a booster draft from the Magic Origins Deck Builders kit. That'll be fun. He purchased a kit for me, sending it, and I'm just gonna have to sleeve all the cards, because his idea is we build decks from the boosters and play using those, and then we break the deck apart and build it a different way. So with the Deck Builders kit, we can do several different varieties of decks. Sorry, I can talk, I swear. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, and it's nice to get the newer cards. I'm not quite an addict. I do love Magic, but I'm not going out and buying cards every, now the word slips my mind, but every time they have a new core set or a new kind of cards. So it's nice to get new cards. The slippers that I was making, I've just started on the soles. I made them in the new size, and as you can see, they're much bigger. And I ended up having to use a J hook to get the gauge. But the trouble is with the J hook, the white soles are perfectly 9 inches. With the purple, they're 9.5. So the white sits just right inside, you can see. So it'll still work. It just might be a bit big for my fiance's mother, but it's better to have slippers that are a bit big than too tight and don't fit at all. So we'll see how that works. Hopefully they'll fit her. I'm sending all kinds of things that I've crocheted for her in the mail to her when I get these slippers done. So it is in the Monday campaign again. We are in a tower and we're looking for, we found what might be a cure for some dwarves that are stricken with illness. I found a barrel full of either cure light wounds. I'm not sure. We haven't identified it, but it's a healing potion. So we'll be taking that back to the dwarves. But the tower was guarded by a dragon that we met, and he said there are gems inside the tower that I want. If you get the gems, I'll let you get what you need from the tower. So we kept finding these magic orbs, and we thought, well, are these the gems he's talking about? And then someone stumbled across a letter that said the orbs were created to empower weapons and things. We're like, oh, we know what this is. We know what this is, because we had stumbled across the machines that the orbs are meant to power, and we had gotten to power them. So we're keeping the orbs, and then one of our other players found gems in a grate. So we're spending the week, our group, talking about how the heck are we going to get these gems out of the grate? You know, maybe we can, what's the word? There's a spell, Mage Hand, I think is what it's called. And then someone else says, we were looking at all these options, and I told the DM yesterday that we were looking at them, and he says, well, you could just put your hand through the grate and pull the gems out. None of us thought that the grate would be wide enough that we could we didn't have a chance to ask, so we're doing all this planning and plotting, and it turns out we really didn't need to. I don't know what we're going to do with us. We're a little bit... the Udemy is a no-go. The lack of support when it comes to technical issues is just ridiculous, and I'm not thrilled with the idea of having to buy a new camera just for the Udemy courses that may or may not sell, and they may say that the video is still pixelated. So I'm going to keep my camera here, going to keep the new setup here, sitting in the living room on the couch, and it has great lighting, as you can see. And we're just going to find a new option, because I really want to offer these courses to teach people how to crochet. I've taught several people how to crochet successfully. They've gone on wildly successful to crochet just about anything, just like me. So I want to be able to spread those skills around the world, and I'd like to be paid for that. It is a lot of work that I put together. So my fiance has generously offered to help me research a new venue for these courses. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a great day.